Hey guys, welcome back to Strong Enough to Age Well, episode 2 with Coach Tony. So for this episode, I want to talk about what strength training after 40 should actually look like, and maybe some things that we can let go of on our thinking surrounding it. So episode 1, we talked a lot about permission to start and being intentional with what we're doing. This episode is going to be more about relief and giving you a plan. Once women decide, okay, I think I'm going to do this, we have almost always thought, but what is it going to look like? How often do I need to do it? How hard do I need to push myself? What am I doing exactly? Is it enough? Is it too much? And et cetera, et cetera. I mean, we can go on and on with these questions. We like to have a plan. We like to know what we're doing. If you're anything like me, I find a new situation like this where I might try something new for training. And I know that I'm not afraid to be uncomfortable. I'm very driven. I put my mind to it and I just go. Sometimes things can go a little sideways when that happens because that is where we get injured. That is where we overtrain or undertrain or shoot for things that we shouldn't be doing. It's also where stubbornness kicks in, and some of those patterns that we see over and over with women in strength training is just diving in with 2 feet, but we're training the way that men train, not the way we should train. So I would like to slow this down a little bit. I want to make it very practical and sustainable for you so that you can set a good plan for yourself and see what your body needs and then train according to that. So why more isn't better? In the last episode, we talked a little bit about those chaotic HIIT training sessions that we do and go, and we add, and how it's not good for our body. So I spent years believing that if something was good, more must be better. More miles for training, more intensity in my workouts, more discipline to those rigid plans that we follow, not listening to our body at all. That mindset got me through a lot of ultra races, but it also landed me with quite a few injuries along the way, and not to mention some serious exhaustion. So the truth is, from what I've learned, but also from what I've seen in my clients, our bodies don't respond as good to that kind of chaos of go. It responds better to clarity and having a plan and listening to it. Why? Recovery capacity changes as we age. Our hormonal shifts affect our muscle repair, our inflammation regulation, and our nervous system balance. So when stress, whether physical or mental, outpaces our recovery, our natural adaptation stops and that fight or flight mode kicks in. That's where you're always hearing those terms of cortisol being elevated. It's the fight or flight mode kicking in because we are no longer able to recovery at the pace that we are pushing our body. If you leave a workout feeling inflamed, drained, or dreading your next session because you are just outright tired, we're no longer strength training. That's just stress. So getting into the how to strength train after 40, this part is the part everybody really wants to know. What do I do? I hear it from almost every client. Hey coach, how should I lift? Why am I lifting this much? Am I doing enough? The good news is after 40, strength training doesn't need to be so complicated. It's about intentional, consistent, and functional movement. And from my experience as a coach and someone who also juggles strength training with my running and everything else, this is kind of what my plan is, and it seems to be what works. So the first thing we're going to talk about is frequency. How often or how many times a week should you be strength training? I would focus on 2 to 3 times per week. And we're talking full body sessions. So not just focusing on only arms one day and only legs the next. If you're only doing it 2 or 3 times a week, you're not going to be doing it enough. You're not going to have enough progressive overload to make that muscle grow the way that we need it to grow. Your muscles do need recovery. So each session builds strength if you're hitting that 2 to 3 full body sessions per week. The second thing we're going to talk about is the exercises. So what type of exercise should you be doing? Like I mentioned, I'm not one that sticks to arms one day and legs the next because I'm sticking to that 2 to 3 times a week. So I'm going to focus on movements that our body uses every day. Compound movements, squats, presses, rows, hip hinges, different types of farmer carry or suitcase carries, planks. All of these are going to build your functional strength, and it's also going to help with your neuromuscular coordination and balance, which all of those things are super important for protecting your joints and reducing your injury risk. The third thing I'm going to mention is intensity and reps. This is a question a lot of women have because we see those ego lifters out there lifting those super heavy weights and maxing out all the time. And that's really great training for some people, but for us, especially in our 40s, 50s, and beyond, we don't want to be chasing those heavy max reps often. It's okay to do them to make sure your percentages are staying where they need to be, maybe at the end of a training cycle, but it shouldn't be what we're lifting all the time. You want to lift a moderate weight. I'd say 60 to 70% of that 1 rep max should be effortful but sustainable to do those sets and reps of. As a woman in our 40s, we shouldn't shoot for those max reps as often because we don't want to aim for muscle failure. It's not what our body needs right now. So think moderate to heavy, but not too heavy. We want to be able to hit 8 to 12 reps per set and 2 to 4 sets depending on your experience. So 8 to 12 reps of each exercise in between 2 and 4 sets. And you want to have some good quality rest time in between those sets. So 60 to 90 seconds, up to 3 minutes between those bigger sets like your squats, your deadlifts, and your rows, those bigger, heavier compound moves. We want a little longer rest time. Listen to your body, take the rest time you need, but at least 60 to 90 seconds in between. We want to start with a good solid warm-up. This is number 4, maybe 10 to 15 minutes warming up the body. Spend a little bit of time on some cardio. Hit your dynamic stretches, things like hip circles or cat-cows, even some walking lunges or some reverse lunge twists. Any kind of movement prep, maybe some body weight squats, hit a couple of push-ups, glute bridges. We want to activate all those muscles in advance so that they are warmed up and ready to go. Then we also want to end our cycle with a good cool down, 5 to 10 minutes of some static stretching. Get a good stretch in your hamstrings, your quads, your glutes, your shoulders, those muscles that we're working with, those presses, those rows, those squats, those deadlifts and stuff. I would recommend also, in addition to 2 to 3 workouts a week of strength, hitting a HIIT workout 1 to 2 times a week, which is going to be your short intervals of a moderate to high intensity, and then maybe some yoga or mobility training also 1 to 2 times a week. We really want to focus on flexibility, joint health, and nervous system calming and recovery so that we can keep recovering well as we hit those strength workouts so that we get the max benefits from them. When I first started combining my running and my strength training, I tried to do everything all at once. Long runs, HIIT workouts, heavy lifts. I will say my hips ached, my energy tanked. I found myself just tired, exhausted all the time. And I kept thinking, like, what is going on? I'm following the plan. I'm doing all the things. I feel like my body's almost failing me because I'm so tired. But I made a few adjustments to my schedule after doing some workouts. I adjusted it to those 2 to 3 times a week of full body lifts. I prioritized my recovery. I scheduled my cardio in around my strength versus hitting it all together every single day. Everything started changing and I stayed running strong for a long time. My capacity felt bigger or more, like I could do more. In my daily life, I wasn't exhausted. I wasn't crashing by 5 or 6 p.m. I've also applied this to my clients and encouraged them to do the same, and it feels like it is a great balance. It's all about balance in our 40s, being intentional, like I mentioned in episode 1, and balancing things. So biggest tip I can give you, it's the same tip I would tell my clients, is to listen to your body, not your ego. If you come in for your workout and your joints are sore, maybe you need to scale back a little bit. If your energy's high, that's the day to push a little bit more. And that's the real balance we want to shoot for, is just learning how to listen to our body. We're not lifting what somebody else is lifting. We're not even lifting maybe what we lifted last week because maybe we needed a little more recovery from that lift. So it's okay to scale it back or to allow yourself to push. Really start paying attention to how you feel. So by doing all of those things, I mentioned recovery. So let's dig in just a little bit to what that looks like, because it changes with every stage of life. So in our 40s and beyond, I mentioned recovery isn't optional. It's where adaptation happens. Strength without recovery is just stress on your body, and we don't want that. We have enough stress in our lives right now. So some key elements for strength training and recovery for women in our 40s, 50s, and 60s. The number one thing, sleep. 7 to 9 quality hours of sleep a night. That sounds like a dream. I know. But listen, once I started balancing my cortisol, once I started getting my hormones kind of in check, doing the things that I needed to do to bring those stress levels down, my sleep has improved so much. So listen, sleep, super important. Find yourself a routine, shut it down every single night. Do the same thing, develop yourself, whatever is going to work for you, whether it's getting off your electronics, it's reading a book, drinking some good tea, whatever calms you so that you are ready for bed and that you set yourself that time to get that good quality sleep. Number 2 is going to be nutrition. We really need to focus on our protein, carbs, and healthy fats. What we're fueling our body with is what is going to give those muscles the energy that they need both to perform and to recover from our workouts. So protein, we should shoot for 1.2 to 1.6 kilograms of body weight per day in grams of protein. Carbs, not as critical as long as we're balancing it with our healthy fats, but definitely like 3 to 5 grams per kilogram per day, more on your intense workout days. So those HIIT workouts or those running days, we want more carbs. We need that fuel. And then healthy fats. This isn't your cheeses and just those things that are fat. We want to think about nuts, seeds, avocado, peanut butter, healthy fats. So this is going to help with your hormone support. In addition to sleep and nutrition, like I mentioned before, that stress management, huge. Breathing, meditation, journaling, yoga, hot tea, relaxing, calming yourself. I find myself midday sometimes sit in the car and I'll make myself breathe in. And I'm going to hold it for a few seconds. And I'm going to exhale. And just doing 1 or 2 rounds of this box breathing or these 4-second breaths where you breathe in for 4 seconds and you hold it for 4 seconds. And then you slowly exhale for 4 seconds. Kind of calms your entire nervous system down a little bit. It does wonders. So practice trying to throw that in a couple times a day. Highly recommend. The last thing is active recovery. Things like walking, foam rolling, mobility work, yoga, stretching, that sort of thing. A lot of times I'll have a client say that they can strength train, but they can't figure out their recovery. Hey, that's me. I struggle giving myself that recovery and rest time. I don't like to sit still. So I struggle with my stretching, I struggle with yoga, I struggle with journaling because I don't like to slow down. I try to go, and then I try to crawl in bed and my brain is still going. I've learned that forcing myself and considering that recovery part of my training has been a huge game changer with my mindset around it. So for me, I have learned that bubble baths with some stretching, intentional sleep, and fueling my body, those are no longer just something that I throw in when I have time. They become part of my programming. I schedule a bubble bath to relax and to soak in the Epsom salt, to read a book in there, to calm myself, to slow down. And that's been so good for my recovery process. Your body's going to adapt during recovery, not during your sweaty sessions that you're doing. So think about recovery, super important. Now again, I'm a big distance runner. I love running. Cardio is life for me. So how do I integrate cardio in healthily with my strength training? For you, maybe it's cycling, maybe it's hiking, maybe it's running, maybe it's hitting that row machine, maybe it's a HIIT workout, whatever it is. How do we integrate that all in so that you can keep that healthy support with your heart, your mind, and your joy for life and what you're doing? Strength training is the base that allows all of those activities to continue. So thinking about prioritizing the strength training, I lift so I can run. I lift so I can travel. I lift so I can age with confidence. I lift so I could ride my bike on the weekends. Whatever it is, strength is the foundation. It doesn't compete with cardio, it protects it. So think about that while we're tying it in. An example workout of what I would schedule for my typical clients in their 40s and 50s. You have 7 days in a week. We're going to have 3, maybe a Monday, Wednesday, Friday strength training, full body, not focused on certain muscle groups, full body, maybe an hour each session. Tuesday, I'm going to throw in some light cardio, walking, mobility, stretching. Thursday is going to lean more toward the recovery side, so yoga and stretching. Friday is going to be that HIIT workout. I might hit my long run that day. And then Sunday is just rest and active recovery. That is a perfect balanced week of intensity. On my strength training days, I might do like a zone 2 run, which is going to be a lower heart rate, fat burning cycle run. because those slower paced runs where your heart rate is not super high is not going to spike those stress levels. You can hit on the light cardio days, you can hit that extra run or those HIIT workouts, kind of pair that Tuesday, Saturday HIIT and runs as you want to. But again, 3 days a week of strength, 2 days a week of HIIT or cardio of your choice, and then 2-ish days a week of yoga, stretching, mobility, definitely an active rest day. So we have to think about it that way. The balancing of intensity, recovery, it's all going to allow your nervous system and your health to balance and center as well. So it's going to leave room for a little bit of life's unpredictability. It's not rigid. It's not going to stress us out when we can't stick to it. Just know that we're hitting those couple workouts a week of each different thing, and try to space them out with some rest and recovery in between. So that is what I have for that. Strength training after 40 should feel sustainable, supportive, and steady. It's something that you can do for decades. It's not just a few week cycle or programming. I have a lot of functional strength and resilience and consistency that goes into my strength training cycles. It's not about being loud or flashy or ego lifting or sticking to that super rigid plan. It's about adapting. It's about building a body that can carry you through the running or your motherhood or your work or your travel or anything with life that you have goals to do that keep you active. A little challenge for you this week, maybe pick one small change or an intentional choice that you can make that will support your body instead of pushing your body harder. So maybe it's scheduling 2 full body strength sessions and letting the rest of the week be active recovery this week. Maybe it's going to be prioritizing protein at every meal so that your muscles can repair and rebuild better. Maybe it'll be committing to full 5 to 10 minute warm up before your next workout and hitting that 5 to 10 minute cool down. Whatever it is, add it in and pay attention to your energy and soreness and how your performance feels going into the next week. Remember, our goal is never perfection. It's always practice, observation, and collaboration with our bodies. And that is what the real meaning of being strong enough to age well is. Y'all, that is all I have for episode 2. I will see you next time.